Hey, what's up, everybody? ColbyCheeZe here, and this is going to be the first podcast that I do where I'll actually do it live on my show. So, to everyone watching on the show, what's up? Thanks for coming by. And everyone watching on the YouTube channel later, well, whatever, here you are. So, anyways, I've got all my notes ready to go set up here, and I've got a lot of stuff to talk about. The last time I actually did one of my podcasts was before I left for Vegas to do the little deal in Vegas, and so I keep like getting my list of things to talk about. It gets longer and longer, but we should be able to breeze through this one pretty quick. A lot of good stuff to talk about though, and I think you guys will enjoy it. Um, I want to go ahead and talk about my Vegas trip real quick. I'm not gonna like go into a bunch of details on it, but if you weren't aware, what I did was I actually jumped in to a little deal at the Consumer Electronics Show where I showed off the Super Micro computers, and I was there with Team SK's Ocelot, who is a pro player from Spain. Really cool guy, and he would sit there and stream, and we had some computers set up, and we just had people come in from the crowd, and I'd shoutcast on the matches while people came up and watched. It was a lot of fun and pretty good stuff. Also met a lot of really cool people there. Obviously, as if you've been watching my show, I have decided to do a lot of new content. After talking with Ocelot, he gave me the idea to just start doing a lot of commentaries on pro players. Before I had done a few commentaries here and there if I had like a game that I thought I would show off, and I would just show like myself playing. But I was like, why not show off pro players? Because that's what people like to see. They like to see people that are really good play the game, and I get to do my commentary over that. So that's why I've been doing those on my shows on Wednesdays and Saturdays. So hopefully you guys are enjoying that as well as the other shows that I've been doing. And if you guys are ever out in Vegas, you should definitely check out some of the sushi restaurants there. They have a lot of great Asian restaurants. I ate some really good sushi. I think the one I went to was called Osaka, I believe. It was really good. Definitely worth checking out. They have a really good deal where they'll like cook stuff in front of you and all that stuff. But we just ate the sushi. So a lot of cool private parties. I met some people from Twitch. That's why I'm streaming on Twitch now here. Met some of the frag dolls. If you guys are familiar with any first-person shooter stuff, I hung out with Fatality a little bit. The guy who I think he's really big on Quake and stuff like that, and he had his own like sound card named after him or something. So pretty cool. And yeah, I'm not really gonna go into the details of all the private parties and stuff, but there was like private parties every single night. It was a lot of work, but definitely a lot of fun. But yeah, so definitely make sure if you guys are watching this on YouTube and you're not aware, I do have my new show that I'm doing Tuesday through Saturday. It's at 5 p.m. Pacific time, or sorry, 3 p.m. Pacific time, which is 5 Central. And I'm going to be doing all kinds of stuff, whether it's my commentaries or I'm doing like a mentor day on Thursdays where I help new players get better at the game, like one-on-one coaching sort of thing. On Fridays, I'm trying to do show matches between good players, one-on-one, like solo mid, and that was an idea that some people sent to me, and I'm trying that out. And if you guys enjoy it, and if the pro players want to keep doing it, then we'll keep doing that show. And then, of course, on Tuesdays, I'll be playing the new champion. You guys can watch me play the new champion and get my impressions, or watch me play him and my thoughts on him while I'm playing him before I actually release that video. So anyways, yeah, it should be a lot of fun if you guys jump in and watch. Anyways, moving on to the next topic, I wanted to talk about the fact that the League of Legends casting scene is growing a lot. A lot of people are hiring shoutcasters. I've got a few job offers myself, but I've kind of pushed those over to other people looking for those as I want to kind of stay independent. And so I think that it's really good if you guys are wanting to get into shoutcasting. This is the time for you guys to really go out there and start getting your name out there and start just practicing and getting commentaries done and do that. So CLG, they have a post right now on their boards, and I'll show you that real quick, where they are actually looking for a shoutcaster, and they're taking applications for that. So they have a thread. If you go, I'll put it in the. I can't really show you guys on the stream, but I'll put a link later on YouTube. You can click on this, and it's there's a few requirements you have to show them. Basically what all you're capable of doing, and like your elo and how long you've been in the League of Legends scene and that sort of thing. And then I saw this and I was like, this is a great opportunity. So I decided to create a video myself to help people make videos themselves. So if you check the latest video that I have on YouTube, it's my video game recording and editing tutorial. I went through and showed everyone how I do my videos, how I record them with Fraps and put them into Vegas, and all the different editing tricks that I use. So I'm hoping that'll help you guys out there in the community. I'd like to see more League of Legends content and things like that, because it's really interesting to me. I like to go out and watch other people's stuff. I like to watch funny clips and other people's shoutcasts and stuff like that. I can't be the only one doing good stuff, so I just wanted to do something for you guys and the community by doing that. And so hopefully some of you guys that are watching this are interested in shoutcasting, and you can apply for that CLG thing. That'll be a lot of fun. I did want to go over my thoughts on the new patch, as well as the one that's about to come out on this coming Tuesday. So the one that we've had this week, you guys have had a little bit of time to play around with it. We had Sejuani get released, the changes to Jax, a couple of other tweaks as well. So I'll just go through there's actually a lot of changes to a lot of champions, but I'll go through the ones that I thought were like more meaningful. First off, I thought it was cool that they added an extra roster to ranked teams. You can actually hold up to 9 people for ranked teams now, so that's pretty cool. I know that before it was hard to get all my people together at the same time when I wanted to play ranked 5s, and having more slots is definitely very good. They fixed a few things about the spectator mode. You can now you don't have that problem with the spectator mode, like speeding up and slowing down at random spots, and I think there's some other like crashes and things they fixed. So they're definitely ramping up the performance and stuff for esports and shoutcasting. That's good. Riot has their head in the right position there. They added the new cool chat system. You probably already forgot that it was added, but it's like I really like the new chat. I don't know what you guys think about it, but I think it's really cool. So the new chat, they add some usability fixes. So like if you're typing some private message to someone and then one of your other friends messages you don't like finish typing it and hit enter on accident. That was actually really annoying. So I'm glad that they fixed that. They've done the Jax remake. So if you haven't seen my first impressions, or even if you have, you'll know that I wasn't too favorable of the remake, and that was due to a few reasons. Mostly that he's real squishy and his stun was hard to use. But cool news is that they are fixing his stun in this upcoming patch. So it's almost like they listened to me. I'm pretty sure they had the idea in their head, because it wasn't for me, but they're going to make it actually last 2 seconds, the dodge portion, and then you can activate the stun early so that it's more on command. So that way you can just push the dodge, do your leap strike, and then instantly stun them, rather than having to like hopefully time it like perfect, which is really dumb. So I like that. That's actually going to help out Jax a lot, especially if that's the only change they're doing to him. He's still going to be squishy, but he's going to be able to do a lot of damage, and he's going to be more reliable in doing that damage. So I'm very curious to see how much better that actually makes him. I still think he needs more tankability, or he needs to be more tanky, I guess you should say, in order to be back to like where he was before. But who knows? I mean, he still does do a lot of damage, and with that stun improvement, that'll help out quite a bit. Also, they had the full dodge removal this last patch, so that's pretty interesting. What I'm curious is, I wonder if I saw the next patch notes, or not notes, but the preview, and they're saying they're removing the critical strike from the masteries page. So I'm actually kind of curious if they may eventually, since they now have removed dodge, they're trying to remove that whole, random chance of things happen. A long time ago they removed the random chance from Gangplank's ultimate. So I'm thinking that will they eventually remove critical chance from the game, since that is actually a pretty big factor in like early game. If you get a crit off or something like that, you can really do some big work. A lot of League of Legends systems are actually built around crit with a lot of champions like Tryndamere, and with champions such as basically all the attack damage carries and their items. All that itemization is based around critical chance. So I'd be interested to see if that's something they ever decide to move towards, or what, or maybe just like tone it down as they're doing with the masteries thing. Pretty interesting though. Also, it's cool they added the Ionic Spark. I think I've only seen someone build it in one game, so I don't know if you guys really care about that. I haven't really thought of any reason to build it personally. Usually, if you're going to build attack speed, you build something like a Wit's End because you want the resist as well. So, I don't know. I mean, it's a cool item and it looks cool. It's like bzz, 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 and you know it zaps everybody. So, whatever. What do you guys think about that? I like to see what you guys think about that. I don't really think it's worth building, to be honest. What else are they doing? Okay, so in the upcoming patch, they're going to be nerfing both the damage and the attack speed on Lee Sin. Mostly the damage on his Q and then the attack speed that he gets on his passive. So I think that's going to be interesting. It's probably going to bring him down quite a bit because I think a big part of Lee Sin's viability is the fact that he can jungle so easily, and then he would come out and he'd just bam, like smacking you like a brick whenever he hits you with his Q, and then just big damage. And so since they're toning that down a little bit, I'd like to see how much they're toning it down, and if that's really going to make a pretty big difference in this upcoming patch, or if he's going to be just as good as he was before. I don't know. We'll see. Again, with those patch previews, without actually testing out, it's really hard to know, but it sounds like it's a fairly big hit to him. All right. The next thing I actually wanted to talk about was my thoughts on how League of Legends is going to stack up to other MOBAs that are coming out. So obviously Dota 2 is in beta right now. A lot of people are excited about it. I mean, I know a lot of people that are in the beta. They talk about they want to play it and stuff like that. And so I wanted to give my thoughts on like how League of Legends is going to be doing like in the future as opposed to all these upcoming MOBAs. And I want to give my thoughts on why I don't think that any of the other MOBAs are going to be anywhere near as popular as League of Legends. Regardless of the fact that Dota 2 has the backing of Steam and Valve and all that, I just don't think that it's going to catch on anywhere near as big as League of Legends. So I'll go into a couple of points into why I think that, so you guys can get an idea. So first of all, I've tried to watch Dota 2 and Heroes of New Earth and things like that. I don't feel like those games are as viewer-friendly as League of Legends. And one of the reasons that I say that is because, well, I feel like it's not as clear when things are happening in those games as it is in League of Legends. And what I mean by that is in League of Legends there is a clear separation of colors. So it's like real contrasting from the background and the spell effects and the characters and things like that. So you've got it's very visible if an ultimate goes off or somebody shoots a spell. It's very easy to tell that. So from a spectator watching the game, even if they don't know much about the game, it's very obvious that things are happening. And so I think that Riot has done a great job. On the other hand, when I watch Heroes of New Earth or whenever I watch Dota 2, for example, the game looks amazing. Like the graphics, they're awesome. There's no mistaking that. But for me, everything just like blends in, and when there's big fights going on, I feel like everything just blends in together, and there's all this cool effects. It's like, oh, that looks so cool, but I have no idea what's going on. So as a spectator, I'm like, okay, I just don't want to watch this. Like, I mean, it'd probably be okay to play it, but nah. And then, so maybe you guys have different opinion than me on that. That's just my thoughts on just for spectator alone on that game. The other thing is that League of Legends is a lot easier for new players to get into, and I think, in my opinion, it's just more fun for casual players. Not only do you have all the different game modes, the versus bots, and you've got the Dominion, and you've just all that different stuff right there. It has less of a learning curve, so it's a lot easier for you to say, hey friends, come over here and play League of Legends, and I can teach you League of Legends, and you can have all your friends play League of Legends. Whereas if you're going to go play Dota, it's just such higher skill cap curve for people to get into that with all the denying and all the different stuff that is involved with Dota as opposed to League of Legends. So personally, I feel like games are going to stay popular where the user base is at, and while Dota 2 may garnish some of the pro players, which I don't know if that's actually going to happen, I don't think it's going to stick because everyone's always going to go where the most people are at. So, I mean, League of Legends has a gigantic prize pool right now, $5 million for season 2. Sorry, I'm sure that Valve and Steam or whatever, they're gonna probably put up some big numbers as well. But pro players are always gonna go where the money is at as well. So with $5 million, it's really hard to argue with that as well. I mean, League of Legends is already established. Also, another thing about it, probably the last thing I'd say about it is that the match length is around 25, 35 minutes on average. From what I hear, I don't know personally because I don't play a lot of Dota 2 or anything like that, but my friends say like average length of a match from Heroes of New Earth or Dota is like probably at least 35 minutes plus. So, anyways, I wanted to show you guys a video I found just to kind of break up my segments here. It was like a really funny First Blood video. You may or may not have seen it already, but I'll let you guys check it out. So this here, let me pull up my video real quick. There we go. So this is like a video of this dude. He like runs around and jukes out this Singed, and then you can see what happens. So he the Singed goes after him and puts an exhaust, so obviously he's not going to get away. And he runs the opposite way like he's going to run to his tower, but Singed flips him away, so he's like, well, I can't run that way. Goes in the bush, and obviously whenever you go in the bush, they can't see you for a short time, so he just keeps juking out the opposite direction. So he's going to run into this bush over here, and so they think he's going to keep running that way. Singed's like, oh, crap, nope, he ran that way. And at this point, Singed basically used all his mana on his poison right there. You see he turned his poison back on, so he doesn't have enough mana to flip right here, and so he kind of messed up, and so he's just going to juke him one more time. Instead of going left, go to the right, and each time he goes through the bushes and just keeps juking. And so he's like, okay, well, I know I'm not going to get away here. Slows down Singed one last time, but at this point, Singed hasn't attacked him in so long, he can just run into the turret and die, and Singed won't get the kill. And that's not even where the clip ends. This is the funniest part right here. He sees Jax running in, he's like, oh, hello, Jax, boom, and he gets the first blood off of that. Probably one of the funniest clips I've seen in a long time. So if you're watching this on YouTube, I'll have a link to that. You guys can check that out later as well. But I just wanted to show that off. I thought it was pretty cool. All right, so the next thing I wanted to talk about was an article that I found. Since I was just talking about casual players and things like that, I found this deal on Reddit a while back, and I just wanted to give it some love. It was I always like it when people do these guides and things like this. I personally don't really play Dominion or anything, but for those of you guys that do like to play Dominion, there's a cool link here to a guide that I found, and it's pretty long. It's pretty detailed. It says this guy, he's been playing nothing but Dominion for since it came out or whatever. And so I looked through it, and I thought the tips were actually pretty sound. So if you guys want to go through and read on that, I'll put a link to that on the down in the description below on YouTube, and then if you're watching the stream, just look at my chat. I put a link to it. So pretty good tips there. Most of it is just talking about just being smart, really, if you sum it all up. But there's some pretty good stuff there. I think the main one that I noticed was like not backdooring. Most people try and take all 5 towers, and all you really need is 3, and you don't have to be stupid and run around and give up the top lane. So pretty good stuff there. Check that out. And then I wanted to talk about IEM Kiev. So if you guys missed anything about IEM Kiev, I'll just give you the final rundown of it. M5, which is one of the Russian teams, they showed up to this event. I don't think a lot of people really knew about them. Maybe on the European side, possibly. But from what I understand, they played a lot of the ranked 5 system against people. So they had practiced all these cheesy strategies and stuff that they just mastered them really well. Such as, learning how to run into the jungle and pick up all these weird buffs and do these crazy level 1 things and just push out and be really aggressive and take the advantage. And they did such an amazing job. People were so astounded by how well they did. TSM went into the tournament as the favorites to win, and in fact, they did make it to the finals, of course, against M5. And the matches were so damn intense. So the first game, they had Shyvana up top versus Aurelia, and she just kept pushing the lane, and then she would run into the jungle. They had Lee Sin and Shyvana, and they just had this really strong invading force, and they just couldn't handle it. And the Odd One and the Rain Man, they just had a lot of trouble with that, and they weren't prepared for this type of strategy. Second game, they had such an early game lead because M5 kind of ran in and tried to do some crazy stuff, but TSM actually countered that out, picked up 2 or 3 kills early on before the first 5 minutes of the game, and it kind of snowballed from there. Third game, same thing happened. Lee Sin, Shyvana, boom, all over the jungle. Same exact thing that happened the first game, kind of went out of hand. They couldn't catch up, and M5 took the tournament. So I'm kind of interested in seeing how these M5 guys do in the upcoming tournament. So some people were saying that these guys are just using some parlor tricks, and that once people catch on to them, they're not going to be as good as other teams. But I have to say, I mean, they played very well. They were very aggressive, and they played very superb. So I'm actually very interested in watching these guys in the next tournament to see if they're like a one-hit wonder, or if they're going to go on to be, you know, the next big team or whatever. We'll just have to wait and see on that one. I do recall a while back when Dignitas was kind of the same way. They pulled out all these crazy strategies that no one knew. They had like support gameplay, like, whoa, who does that, you know? And so. But now, I mean, Dignitas hasn't actually won any like big tournaments since then, when they originally were, you know, getting big there. So we'll have to just wait and see if M5 is going to be just like that, or if they're going to rise up. Now I want to show you guys another video that I found, which I thought was really cool and inspirational. Obviously, if you guys love League of Legends anywhere near as much as I do, I think you'll enjoy this. I'm just kind of like skip into the middle of it and show it to you. But it's a pretty good video, just kind of like a montage of clips and stuff like that with some good music. So let me jump in to let you see that. Hopefully you can hear the music. Sorry, I was muted. So let me just say that again. Basically, what I was going to say is I really like that video, and sorry about that. I had my mic muted. Yeah. Anyways, I really like that video. I thought it was really inspirational. The cool thing about it is that I really like that one clip where it was all a big team fight. Everybody is running there, and there's all that AOE. But that never happens. Like that was the most perfect situation. Every single ultimate hit, like all 5 guys, they were all grouped up, and then they just exploded. But whenever I go in and I try and pick like a AOE comp like that, it never works out for me the same way. Like I'm like, all right, we're gonna do it. We're gonna go in and hit all of our ultimates. But someone always like uses their ultimate like 30 seconds to go on like one person and doesn't kill them. And then like you actually get into the team fight and you're one down, and then you like mess it up, and then you have no ultimates left, and then you're just done, and you're like, oh, facepalm, you know. So, anyways, I just thought it was good stuff. So that's pretty much what I had to talk about for League of Legends today. And a couple of news, though, for Diablo 3. If you guys are into Diablo 3 as much as I am, I always talk about Diablo 3 in my podcast at the very end just because, well, I mean, I'm going to play a lot of Diablo 3 when it comes out. That's all there is to it. So just so you guys know, there was a big deal with Diablo 3 getting declined for approval in Korea because of their auction house and it being like called gambling. So what they did was they decided to take the cash option out of the auction house for Korea. It got approved, so Korea is good to go for Diablo 3. Also, they have decided to make a lot of big changes to Diablo 3. If you guys are following the website, you can go check that out. There is a bunch of like patch notes. So what they've done is change around like the way stats work and the way like systems work, and they took out a lot of the like breaking down certain types of items, and they rearrange like when you get certain spells. The game, I'll have to say, like I played the game, I got in the beta pretty early, and if you were to compare the game when I played it then to what it is now, it's like light years ahead. It's so much more fun in this current stage, even though it's only like like an hour of gameplay. If you were to just like play through it real fast, they've actually added a lot of like random encounters and cool things that they didn't have before, and they've like improved the systems. So I'm really excited for Blizzard and what they're doing in Diablo 3. It's going to be a whole lot of fun, and so it's going to be good stuff. Another thing they've done is that this is the first time I've ever heard of them doing this, but they've actually canceled BlizzCon this year. Instead, what they're going to have is the Battle.net World Championship. And the reason they're doing this is they want to focus more on releasing their WoW expansion as well as Diablo 3, and rather than planning some big event to just like hype these games up. And obviously, the next the next expansion for StarCraft 2. So those 3 games, they're just going to heavily focus on releasing those, and instead have like a little world championship like competitive event for StarCraft 2 and stuff like that. So should be a lot of fun. And unfortunately, I was planning on going to BlizzCon this year. Like I was really excited about it, and I was like, oh, I'm kind of sad, no BlizzCon. But whatever. I mean, hopefully they'll have Diablo 3 released before too late. They said Q1 of this year. I don't know if it's going to be pushed back more because of these changes that they're doing, but we'll just have to wait and see. So, anyways, that's it for the podcast. The next thing I wanted to really talk about was just that I'm thinking of maybe doing, since I'm doing my daily shows here, I may go ahead and start doing like a daily like short podcast where I talk about any kind of like gaming stuff that comes up, rather than you guys having to wait like a week or two for my podcast, where I like try and get a lot of content together to make it long enough. I may go and just do, like 4 or 5 minutes of stuff, whatever I have to talk about that day. So if it's right after the patch, then I'll give you my thoughts on the patch, and then the next day, if I have different thoughts, then I'll give you different thoughts. If I have different games to talk about, maybe you guys will like that. So perhaps let me know in chat or in the comments what you guys think of that sort of thing. Have like a 5 days a week, just a quick little ColbyCheeZe podcast thing that I do on the show live, and then obviously upload. All right, that's it for the podcast. Please, if you're watching this on YouTube, hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Everyone on Twitch, thanks for watching live. I really appreciate it. So what I'll do is I'm going to stop recording for YouTube, and I'm going to answer questions on this, and then I'm going to go into my commentary.